Uh-oh.
Oh, he's muted.
Orange, you're muted.
Oh no.
It was literally playing it a second time.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
sorry. It always does that.
Technical issues.
StreamYard,
It's cool.
fix your shit. Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. We got a new hat crew. We are covering on Sundays the Book of Wick, which is the 4 John Wick movies. And yes, I only say there are 4 because I'm not going to acknowledge a 5th if they make a 5th, unless they make it extremely well. Because, well, we'll get there when we get to the 4th movie 4 weeks or 3 weeks from now. So with me, I got my hat crew from. I'm hearing myself. Okay, that's better. I got my hat crew friend from the last MCU Sundays, Nerd with a Cigar. How you doing, Kate?
Hello, glad to be back. I like this. I like John Wick, so I'm glad to be here.
Alrighty. And the 2 new hat crew members are Fade Salvation and Richard Embry. How you guys doing?
Hello. Thank you for having us.
All right. Now, before we do get going, folks, I do want to give my newest members of the hat crew a chance to give themselves a shameless plug. So who wants to go first? I'll give it to Fade Salvation. Give your channel a plug. Let them know where they can find you, all that jazz.
Very well. Hello, everyone. My name is Fade Salvation. You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and everywhere at Fade Salvation. I usually do figure videos and some hangout streams once in a while, and do some gaming streams on Twitch.
Alrighty, and Richard,
cool.
Let them know
founder of Force Publishing. We have Blood of the Sword coming out. It's going to be a great comic, 20-page floppy, going for $5, digital and physical. You can catch me on X Twitter. That's what is it? Hashtag Richard Embry, hashtag Forest Pub LLC, and then on YouTube with Forest Publishing LLC. So yeah, excited about that. Excited to be here. Excited to talk about John Wick.
All right.
And I brought my orange cup. So this Halloween first day, October,
kicking it off right. There you go.
I'm ready.
And
October. It's a good season to be on the internet.
Alrighty, and before we get going, let's say hello to the chat. We had Nerd with a Cigar in the chat. Thank you so much. We have Geek Detective Pierce. Always a pleasure. Hey guys, this should be fun. Also watching and taking notes. I suspect some of the talking points might mirror what my review post would be like. Nice. Willem Dafoe and his performance in this one, while brief, was a real treat. Yes, it was. One of the loyals, Vanya. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, you're on. Thank you. All righty. So, John Wick, Chapter 1, The Wick. So, this movie, I really like how they actually did this movie because it starts with just at the end of the movie, and we then do a go back in time to see the journey to the end, which is nice. And a small bit of trivia: no studio wanted to publish this movie. Not one. Not even Lionsgate.
Really?
And then there was a test screening. I think the guy from Lionsgate actually walked out, but then somebody else gave it a chance, and they're like, well, let's do Millennium Media, give them a chance to basically look it over, and then they had it distribute, and the movie made a profit in the theater. And not a huge profit, but it did make a decent profit. So
I bet they're kicking themselves now,
Yeah.
Huge property.
And so we see John Wick get out of a car that just crashed into this truck ramp thing. And he's watching a video before he dies, which is of his wife, who is at this point, we didn't know when we first watched this movie that she was dead. So it was just a nice video of his wife and him. And Bridget Moynihan, while brief in this film, I really do like her as an actress. She does a great job. I love her character in Blue Bloods. And that's actually one of the only shows that I watch now today because of all the crap going on that we all know going on in Hollywood, which is really prevalent right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we then see the travel back in time. And another fun fact, the main character, John Wick, was named after the writer's grandfather.
Oh.
Yeah, the writer of this film, his
I did not know
grandfather's name was John Wick, and he was afraid to do that because he felt
Grandma's
a little
gonna
bit
sue him.
trepidation.
Grandma's gonna sue him. I need my cut. That's my husband.
Well,
I need
not
my
only
cut.
that, he was afraid of what his grandfather would think about being named after a very worldly assassin. And he's like, well, actually, I kind of like this idea. His grandfather is
Nice.
like, hey, that's pretty cool.
Here's your check, Grandpa. Whoa, okay. You know, I did get mad back in the day. You know.
Yep.
That's
So, heard that this was a tough sell. Some people saw this as a B-type film or B-level type of film, but was actually, as OHR cited, became successful. And as I forget, ripped to Lance Reddick. His character Sharon, brief as it is in the movies, really his character leaves an impression. I mean, I always was calling him Charon because it's spelled the same way as the ferryman, from Greek mythology. So yeah, who had this who had his company? Whose company? Because I'm going by what Vanya's asking here. Who had his company? All I know is it's a Lionsgate production due to Millennium Media.
Yeah.
Also, Keanu Reeves attended the premiere of this movie with the dog.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool.
The dog that was killed.
Yeah.
And I'm
That's
like,
how you do a movie premiere. I mean,
yeah.
come on. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
Well, when I saw this, right, I was like, this writer read Save the Cat, right? Save the Cat's a screenwriting book, right? And in Save the Cat, the whole premise of Save the Cat is you got to make the main character the hero, right? And you got to get the audience to buy in, and empathize with them, right? And that's what he did from day one. Like from the first scene, we see him shot, we see him bleeding. This is Keanu Reeves. He's a loved celebrity. So now we're already okay. Oh my God, Keanu's hurt. Is he gonna make it? Is he gonna die? And then we see the touching video with his wife. Now we're buying in again. And then we see the dog. We're buying in again. You know what I mean? It's just we're buying in. And then we love this character so much, or we're already attached to him. Like, oh, this is a good dude. This guy's taking care of a dog. This and that. And then the dog dies. And then it's like, yo, we're just on the
Stakes have
side.
been raised, yeah.
He can kill the Pope, and we don't care. Like Pope has whoever had something to do with that is we are justified. Now we're on the side. So now it's like we have this like that I was saying like, oh, I'm naming this guy after my grandpa who's a killer. Yeah, but now it's like the audience has bought in, and now it justifies him being a killer and doing that because he tried to walk away, and
yeah.
And now it just makes sense with bringing that the dog. All this is theatrics. He's bringing the dog there, so people love dogs. They love dogs. They love people that love dogs. He brings it to a theater, and then at the end you're like, oh, the dog's here. So it's like they were happy in the beginning that they saw him with this dog, and then imagine after the movie, and then he gets the dog, and it's like the dog really isn't here. The dog's here. The dog wasn't hurt. It's here, and then you're like, oh, I loved your part in it. It's
because
man.
When
he did
folks,
it right.
Just so you know, no dogs were hurt in the making of this film. However, they really do sell the point that this dog bit it.
Yeah,
in this movie. And I really do like that. So we go to before the supposed death scene, a few days before, I think like 4 days or 3 days before, and John Wick is burying his wife. His wife, or we see I like how they portray the flashbacks, how you flashback to see a little bit of here and there. Apparently she got sick. I don't think they ever truly.
They don't really explain
They don't really
Yeah.
explain what happened to her. All we know, and all we really need to know, is that she got sick.
Yeah, and she's gone.
Mm.
And so he has the doctor pull the plug so that he can bury her. And we see now this movie does have small little continuity errors, which is fine.
Yep.
No movie is complete without them. And we then see Willem Dafoe, Marcus, coming. He's like, "Why are you really here, Marcus?" Because in this lifestyle, in that world, Marcus could be there for any sort of reason. To comfort a friend, to kill him, to do so, or to kill somebody at the funeral, for all we know, because that is the world. Now, what I do love about this, or about these series of movies, and we'll get more into them as the movies progress, these movies are contained. However, each movie does a wonderful job at expanding the lore. In this movie,
Yes.
we're not aware of the High Table. We are not aware that there are 12 families at the High Table. We are not aware of any of that yet. All we know is that this was a fraternity of assassins, so to speak. That this is a world under the world that we know. And it's done in such a way that you just understand this. John Wick, when people say his name, you know that his name is known in this world.
What I really love about what I really love about these movies too, I think this was like the perfect movie for Keanu, because like, I love Keanu Reeves, but he is not a great actor.
He
You
isn't.
know, he's not a good actor. He's good at action. Like, you know, I don't know, between I am an FBI agent and like, whoa, from The Matrix, like, you can just tell he doesn't.
But he's
I don't know.
lovable, so they used
He
him
was
right.
also in
They
Which
got
is-
to buy it,
Which
and
is
then it's
fine.
like,
Which is
yeah, but I
fine.
hear
You
what you're
can
saying.
make
He
you
didn't have
can
to
make a
act, he had to go-
totally
Yeah.
right. You can make a totally respectable career out of not being a good actor, and we won't go down that rabbit hole. But this was the perfect movie for him because, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe that either one of the directors or producers or somebody who worked on the film also worked with him in The Matrix.
Yes.
Was it? Okay,
Stileski
so he
was actually his stunt double.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was his stunt double.
Oh.
And so, like, this movie, he gets very few speaking lines. Even in the beginning, when we're getting this kind of, like, heart-wrenching thing where he lost his dog, he lost his wife, you know, all of this stuff. He doesn't speak much. We just get some visuals on his face, some sad music, and then after, like, your intro to the movie, it's just, like, nonstop action. And it's great. It's a great film, and it was perfect for Keanu because you can tell he's familiar with guns, he's familiar with the action scenes, and then when we get to it later, like the nightclub scene, he had like the flu when he was filming that, so it was just
he was
Keanu, like, in this movie. I think this was like the best. Nobody else could have done John Wick like Keanu, and this movie really was just like, yeah, Keanu. I don't know. I really enjoy Keanu in this.
The reason why this movie people were afraid of this movie was not because of the wholesale slaughter that's in it. It was because of Keanu Reeves. He had done 3 movies recent before this movie that flopped.
What were those? Because I don't even remember those. So that's
probably
how bad.
That's how hard they flopped.
Yeah.
One of them was The Matrix, wasn't it?
The Matrix was. Matrix 3 was pretty bad.
Oh, okay.
People that left a sour taste.
But I'm talking about 3 like recent, like 2012 to 2013 or 2011 to 2013.
Recent to John Wick 1.
Yeah, recent to John Wick 1. And that is one of the reasons why they're like, oh my God, Reeves is attached to this. It's probably going to be an instant bomb. It turned out that it was actually a lot better than they thought.
Yeah.
It's because they didn't give him any speaking roles. They just let him be an action star. It was great. No, it was great. No, I love Keanu. He's great, but he's not a good actor.
He's a good action star, if anything.
He's a good actor in the right situation.
Correct.
Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Now,
because his performance in Speed was really good too.
Yeah. And
also,
no, go ahead. Or it's all right. He's also very dedicated to his roles when he does them. Meaning he will research the roles. He will show up early to freaking to practice and to training and whatnot. If you go online, look up John Wick's gun training on YouTube, you'll see how he breezes through the gun training course. And you also see that when Gina Carano was also doing her training for Haywire, she also did the same course. And it was actually pretty cool. Man of Tai Chi, 47 Ronin so Man of Tai Chi was also another one.
Oh, yeah.
I also like how in later films we get a familiar face with a nice nod to The Matrix 2. Yeah, well, that's the thing. In this film, they actually use a lot of the stunt crew from The Matrix. The guy, or one of the guys in the red circle who is head of security, he is one of the agents from Matrix Reloaded.
Oh.
He's at, so...
I think
I saw Scott
show. Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I saw Scott Hall in there too. Yeah. So he's one of the doormen, the wrestler, Scott Hall. Remember?
Actually, that was Kevin Nash.
I'm sorry. You're right. In my head, I said Kevin Nash, and then I saw Scott Hall earlier. You're right. That is Kevin Nash, the same guy that was in Punisher and took a real knife from Tom Jane.
I was gonna, I was gonna actually bring that up.
Yeah. So I was like, you just see Keanu behind him, and I'm like, I know that face, and it was a lot of stars in this movie. Oh, yeah. And I think Keanu's, like, from what I hear, he's a very, very likable person in Hollywood. And there's not a lot of likable people in Hollywood, and if Keanu's attached to it, they're gonna come out and support him, And that's another thing. They know he's gonna put asses in seats, bro. He's gonna put asses in seats. He's loving it, and even if it's a flop, they're gonna come out.
It becomes a cult classic.
Keanu
is the king of cult classic right now.
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah, I mean, the one with Patrick Swayze, Point Break. That's cult classic. Speed.
Oh, it's love that movie.
Bill and Ted. Yep.
I mean, so we then get to the scene where he gets the dog delivered. Now, he may not be a good actor in a lot of other movies. However, he is a great actor in this movie.
Yeah.
His reaction to the letter of his late wife, starting with, or to love the dog, because the car doesn't count.
Right.
So we learned that this guy really likes his car. And, I mean, it's all these little bits. And you see that this dog is like, oh my God, why am I here? This man is crying. And so the dog's name is Daisy. And he's like, figures, because pushing up daisies. It really is such a great scene how they build up this whole thing where you get to love this dog, where you get to really like this dog, how he has to understand what's going on with the dog, why it's licking him so profusely just before the alarm goes off, and then he lets it, or opens the door, jerks up, hey, so it leaves a Duke of shit on the yard.
Yeah,
and so he's like, I'll give you some kibble later. And he pours
it's a bonding
moment. The dog a bowl of cereal with milk.
I love that we get John Wick in this moment. Like, we didn't get him pre-wife, pre-marriage. I like where the story starts, because we just kind of jump straight into it of like, okay, grief, loss, dog, and then loss again. When Theon Greyjoy comes in and kills his dog, but we don't get the whole story, and I like that. I like that realm of mystery, and especially because when they start unpacking it later on through the movies, especially in like movie 2, where they're like, he's the guy they sent to kill the boogeyman. Like it's
you're happy.
It's great.
You're like, yes,
right.
Let's go get him.
Right, exactly. Like, you go straight in, you jump straight into the story, and it's just, I think it's good writing. It was good directing, and
Yeah, definitely good writing, because they're guiding you. They don't need to distract you with
correct.
It's like, here, this is all you need to know, and we're gonna guide you.
Here's the story.
Because it's like, we don't need to distract you.
In this. There is no real filler in this.
Oh yeah, that's what I noticed too. It's just scene after scene after scene, and
and every scene gives you a little bit more information.
Yeah,
which is nice. Like at the airport, when he's doing his drifting, and then he goes at a full bore right towards the things and yells and then stops. This, psychologically speaking, this man wanted to die in that moment.
Yeah,
but then
he
he
did.
realized it's not, or then he realized he wanted to live in that moment.
You know what's crazy about that? I was like, was the dog in the car? Because you're really breaking
Yeah,
hard,
that's what
bro.
I was wondering.
Brought the
You saw the
dog
dog
with
in the
him.
car, and
It's
then
like,
it was right after the gas
"Ah!"
station. And I was just
I
like,
was-
"Yay, right." I'm like, yo,
Yeah, we didn't hear anything on the dog.
you went
Yeah.
in, the gate opened, right, and the guy's like, yeah, come on in, and I'm just like, okay, all right, they're gonna maybe some secret thing when I'm watching it, and then yeah, he's doing all these things, but I think it's he misses that adrenaline, and the writer was like, okay, he's still an adrenaline junkie, to be in this profession, you got to be nervous to still or have some excitement, or else why would you continue to do it? So I think that's what the writer was trying to get.
Yeah.
And then,
one of the things, the book. Speaking of good writing, that book that the gate guard is reading is about a spy who killed a person with a pencil.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
So yeah,
See, even these little details, that's how
Mhm.
you can tell like the writing is good and they cared about these little details, because these big name actors or these stars that are kind of in the background that we can see as movie appreciators. It's cool that they put that in there, and it just goes to show like the writing was like they cared about this movie, they cared about the story, they cared about the characters. So I like seeing stuff like that.
and not to mention that when we get to the gas station, this movie does take place in New York. However, it is that gas station is in New Jersey. And one thing that you don't know is that in New Jersey, you're not allowed to pump your own gas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like
So,
Oregon then. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
like
Oregon changed that recently.
Oh,
too.
really? Oh, wow.
Mm.
And then we get Game of Thrones Dickless, what's his name?
Theon Greyjoy, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I watched this after I got into Game of Thrones, so I was
Yeah.
like, "Aw, this little pussy Theon thinks that he can
Yeah.
take on Keanu. What?
Oh, yeah.
At least it wasn't after the 300.
Right, exactly.
And so he comes in. Now he's just getting back basically into upstate area or up to New York after he just went down to Atlantic City to impose his father's will and kill a bunch of people. So he's basically high on success and he wants to buy the car, and he's like, and then he says, everything's got a price, bitch. And when John...
In Russian.
Yeah, in Russian. And then John responds in Russian, not this bitch. And he's like, what the fuck? Who the fuck does this guy think he is? And so then we get to the airport, and then after we get to home, and the dog tips him off that something's up. So he gets up to let the dog out, except that they're all there. We get the assault. That was rough to see. I'm telling you. When they say shut that fucking dog up, and it's like, oh my god,
don't go
you
after
hear
the
the
dog.
sound. Yeah, this dog is screaming. It's in distress. I have a very paternal instinct, folks. When a child or a young animal or anything young is in distress, my first reaction is to help.
Yeah.
And so when that dog
and the writer knows it. The writer knows it. You're like, that's normal. That is normal. Even mothers, that's normal. So he did exactly, he banked on that response that he wanted you to have, and you had it.
Yeah, and then we see that it's the Russians that knock his ass out. Now, remember, he's knocked out, and the dog was killed a distance away from him. And then you see the blood trail up to him. That dog lived enough to crawl up to him.
Yeah.
That is even more heartbreaking because when I was watching this to get the talking points, it's like I was noticing, oh my god, the dog must have been alive just enough to get next to him.
They wanted to see if he was all right.
I thought in that scene that the Russians kind of dragged the dog to him as a warning or something, like a message.
Possibly, but I don't think that was the case because all they wanted was the car.
Yeah.
And So we then learn that the van that he had has has its front window broken with a bat through it, and all the tires slashed. And when he buries the dog, it's like, okay, unfortunately this has happened. So he buries the dog quite quickly, and he then puts the leash right next to his wife's necklace or bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was a bracelet.
When he was cleaning the blood off the floor, and he just looks up, it's like he's been awakened. This is John Wick's
He's
past.
been reawakened.
Yeah, John Wick's past has just been dredged back up. What he was that we don't know about
it's back.
It's coming.
Mhm.
It's back. And then
So whatever his wife did to like calm his whatever, we don't get that backstory, which is fine. Again, like I had said before,
Mhm.
whatever his wife did during their marriage, we don't know how long their marriage was. Whatever, at this point. So, whatever happened before, it's out the window. Whatever healing he did or therapy he did, he's like, nah, fuck it. You killed my dog. You took my car. It's on.
Yeah, you're dead.
I think what it is the universe, right? So, like, check it out. You do a whole lifestyle, your whole career was killing people and creating misery and taking it. And then the universe is like, okay, you know what? Check it out. We're going to let you have a little bit of happiness, but you're not going to end up with that happiness. You killed people, so we're going to take it away because you wanted to be a killer. So now go be that killer. It like the universe can't reward him for that. So now he has to be that killer because that's all he has left. But with that, we see the buy-in and it gets us to cheer for as long as now we're justifying him killing bad people. As long as he's only killing bad people, But it's that's I think that was
the hook of the movie works. It works.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
When did Michael Nyquist die?
Oh, that's a good
apparently
question.
I gotta look that up.
Yeah, I didn't.
Oops.
I didn't know that.
Check. Did Michael? Yeah, okay, there. Shit, he died in 2017.
Oh.
Dang.
Yeah. So this was, I'm guessing, one of his latter productions before his untimely death. But oh my god, it's a great role. So we get to Aurelio's where the Russian kid is basically dropping off the car. He's like, one new VIN number, new plates. Where'd you get that car? Oh, or simple things, folks. Simple things in this movie. This is how good this movie is. These are objective qualities. Simple things like, where did you get that car?
Like he already knows.
He knows who he is. He knows who the owner is. He knows all of it. And it's like
he knows his son just fucked up. He just fucked up.
So,
which is crazy because I hear what you're saying about like plot holes. It's like you would think the son of this Russian dude who's doing hits and this and that, they would know John Wick, and we see him like, oh shit, like they would have a different reaction. Like, yo.
But the way that the characters played,
arrogant and stupid,
super arrogant and stupid. So his father might have tried to teach him about, hey, here's the guys you don't mess with.
Yeah.
Right.
But now that he's given a little bit of authority and power by his dad, he's just going out and throwing his weight around.
Right. So that's why he wouldn't have known about John Wick, because there was no reason.
He's been out of the game for a while. So he must have been married for quite some time then.
5 years.
Or he kept this whole lifestyle
5 years? Okay.
This kid for like, because the kid's like what, 25 maybe 18, 19, maybe 15. So yeah, maybe like he just wasn't involved.
He just wasn't involved at that time. Or, he either didn't know because he wasn't in the game, or he was too arrogant to listen to his dad. Either way, it works for the story.
John was out of the game. That is why they probably didn't know. Because
right,
John, what other reason, or why would they need to tell him about John Wick, an ex-assassin who laid the foundation for the Empire? Why would you need to tell him about it? Except, well, fuck, he fucked up. So when John shows up, because they only stop or they cut it at where'd you get that car? Then they show John Wick showing up. Is it here? It was. So he's like, Yosef Tarasov nicked it. Vigo's son.
Yeah.
So now you know that John knows Vigo. And so then we see the rest of the car or rest of the scene. I said, where'd you get that car? Who the fuck cares? Just get the fuck out of here. Get. I want nothing to do with this.
And then he's like,
as crazy
own
as John
you.
as crazy as John Leguizamo is in real life, he did this real well.
Oh yeah.
I will say that. As crazy as he is in real life, he did this real well. And so I was like, did you just lose your shit, dude? Because what'd you say to me? We own you. You don't own me, punk. I work with your father, all right? So the owner of the car, did you kill him or what? No. Sure as hell fucked up his dog. Oh, you fucked up his dog. Yeah, he fucking it's crazy shit.
Because he knows.
Mm-hmm.
He knows that was his wife. You know that. I
Like,
mean,
oh my
the
God,
last.
do you not realize what you've done? And so it's like, oh shit. So when he's like, oh, look at you. You're going to come into my shop and pull a gun on me? Go ahead, fucking do it. I just love that. And he's like, unless you're going to fucking kill me, get the fuck out of my shop. Vigo is not going to like this. How do you know what Vigo's going to like or not like? I tell you this, he's going to understand. And so because John Wick is there and because he is friends with Aurelio gives him some wheels free of charge. So it's like, yeah. So then we get the call because it doesn't do anything else. It goes right to the later that night calling Aurelio because we don't get filler in this. I heard you struck my son. Yeah, that's right, sir. I did. May I ask why? Yeah, well,
I love that he's respectful to him.
Yeah.
He said, "You fucking hit my kid, motherfucker." He was like, "John, did you hit my son? May I ask why?" Very tenderly and respectful because he knows who he's talking to. I thought that was great. You know?
He was ready to kill him.
Yeah,
that's what's known as simmering anger right now.
That's
what's or a real mob boss or a real good mob boss will keep it under the surface when needed. So it's like, or I heard you struck my son. Yes, that's right, sir. I did. And may I ask why?
Because it might be justified. There might be some. Okay, let me reason. Why would you hit him?
The tone is like right there. And may I ask why? Because now you pissed me off that you hit my son. And so he goes up a little bit more with the inflection. And may I ask why? Well, he stole John Wick's car, sir, and killed his dog. The look says it all when he turns to face the camera. Oh.
Yeah, I got bigger
problems. Also, your
son's
a little bitch. Like, come on.
It's like,
I got bigger problems than the chop or the chop shop, you know?
Right,
it's like,
sure.
Shit, my son just fucked up.
But I like when John Leguizamo puts the gun to his head and he's like, fucking do it, because I know what's coming right now, and we're all going to die. So I need you to leave, because at least I can pour this drink and talk to John, because he knows me and he knows I didn't have no part of this. So I need you to leave, or just kill me, because I don't want to be alive when he's here. if you're here with this car.
I saw a video recently. It was like, who would you rather be killed by? And it was like John Wick, and I forget the other options, but the person goes on to describe, if John Wick kills you, it's layered. Like, it's not just like, it's like he stabs you, he freaking right. Like, it's a thing. So yeah, absolutely. I totally understand where he's like, yeah, kill me right now. Because if John comes around and I'm siding with you, John's gonna mess me up.
I would want to be killed by John Wick because
headshot. A lot of headshots.
The guy who killed his dog, we see later. It's like there's no words, there's no wasting. He's just gonna fucking kill you.
He just it wasn't
He'll just kill you.
Oh.
Yeah.
He wants to make it right in his perception.
I was expecting it to be dragged out too.
Yeah. So we then see Mayhem from those commercials, Allstate commercials. Can't remember his name.
Yeah.
He's a fucking lawyer.
No, he's Dennis Duffy from 30 Rock. Come on.
Yeah.
No.
He's also from whatchamacallit, Battle Creek. which only lasted like 2 seasons.
That was a really short. That's really
that's the
niche.
Allstate commercial I want to see.
Yeah.
I mean, when your son shoots a dog from a hitman, be protected by Allstate. You know,
Right? Yeah.
Right.
They should
help
definitely.
John Wick or me.
If Allstate were smart, they'd like rent some rights to some John Wick stuff and have a crossover or something.
Yeah.
Maybe for a Super Bowl commercial. Come on.
There was that commercial where he was a dog. He's like, I'm a dog and I'm munching on this great bone, and while these guys gave me this great bone while they're robbing your place. Hey guys, and they look at Mayhem like, oh shit, we're caught. You guys are great. And then he has the shot collar and he walks beyond the perimeter to get shot. Dude is fucking nuts. But in this, he plays a consigliere to a Russian mob boss, and he doesn't speak Russian. I'm thinking to myself, what's wrong with this guy?
He rolls a 20 on charisma every time. That's
And so he's like, have you seen my son? So we then get the boy comes immediately there. How was your trip, kid? We won't be hearing from them or ever. Now, this bit here where he's pouring the drink, he gives him the drink, they toast, he doesn't drink. So he sets that down. He's like, that's a nice jacket. Yeah. Then slugs him in the stomach, bringing that vodka, just bubble him back up. And then he's like, ugh, clean that up. He's like, what did I do? You fucked up.
Not to mention, like, the guy's like trying to leave. He's like, "Hey, can I go? I mean, it looks like you're trying to have a private moment."
This is some Russian shit I don't want to see.
Yeah, he's like, no. And then he says something. He's like, English, Vigo, please stay, damn it. And so then he's like, I'm not talking about Atlantic City. And he's like, what, you're Aurelio's? So I stole a fucking car. Cracks in the stomach again. God damn it, Vigo, you stay. And so then he pours another drink with a different vodka, and that's when he drinks that one instead. That is actually a Russian thing. If you do not support the toast in which you are toasting, you do not drink it. So that's great freaking research that they did.
Yeah, great research. And also, I like that because I've been to some toasts before where I'm like, I'm not drinking to that because I don't agree with this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
I was just so happy to see that actor because I loved him in Snatch, and I was like, yes, this Russian dude from Snatch, you know, he's here.
Nice.
He's and actually, it made me buy into the character more because I'm like, oh yeah, he was a bad motherfucker in Snatch. So, you know, it was great casting because it's like, yo, he was such a badass in Snatch. This dude's unkillable, like so hard to kill, and then. Like, dang, now this is a worthy opponent for John Wick, you know?
And so we then see that he's like, it's not that you or what you did that distresses me so. It's who you did it to. Who? Fucking nobody? That fucking nobody is John Wick. That's all you fucking need to know. It's like, you then see that John Wick is heading down to the basement. It's like, I'm afraid of what's about to happen in this basement. Because it's like, what is about to happen in this basement? So he tells him, he's like, John Wick was a former associate of ours. We called him Baba Yaga, the boogeyman. Well, John wasn't exactly the boogeyman. He was the person you sent to kill the fucking boogeyman. Oh. So yeah, now the kid's understanding that he fucked up a little bit. And
it's like when you do a home invasion and the guy who owns the home is like, you know, a war vet and like has like and is like ready for this moment.
Yeah,
you know,
it's like you just gave me
a Jimi Hendrix song comes on, you know,
right? Exactly. He's enjoying. Not only is he gonna kill you, he's gonna enjoy it.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be.
John is a man of focus or commitment, focus, sheer will. Something you know very little about. Every word has so much freaking weight here. And he's like, I once saw him kill 3 men in a bar with a pencil. With a fucking pencil. And then he doesn't need a lawyer, and the lawyer flinches.
And as he's saying these words, too, we're seeing, like, John hammer the concrete in the basement, too.
Wick rage, I call it.
Yeah.
It's like, boom.
It almost seems like he put it under that concrete to like, you know what, I'm not gonna reach it unless I'm really pissed, and I have to be really pissed to sledgehammer these out, you know, and
It's like
you know,
I'm burying my life. I don't want
Yeah.
to bring it back up ever, but if I have to, it's not going to be good for a good reason.
And then the thing too is when he's saying you know, like giving the characteristics of John Wick, it's like you can tell he just has this ultimate respect for him. It's like, bro,
Yeah.
you're not even half the man. If you weren't related to me, I you know, it's
I would have killed you
like,
right here.
yeah, I would have just killed you and be like, don't worry, John, I took care of it, you know, like, but it's just it's like you're not half the man John Wick is. Like, dude, like, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy dynamic.
And so then he tells me, he's like, and John wanted out, or it was over a woman, of course. So I gave him an impossible task. The amount of bodies he buried that day laid the foundation of what we are now. And I'm like, so
I have a good feeling
Yeah.
his wife knows like little to none, or like maybe a small percentage.
I don't think she ever knew.
You don't think
I
so?
don't think she ever knew.
Or yeah, you might be right too. But like if she knew anything, it was like 0.1% of what he did, because
Possibly
Yeah.
because she did
he
calm
must
him
have
down.
really
Mm.
right, because she got him out of that. And it's okay. So this is not a serious movie, but it's kind of like in The Other Guys, where he meets, you know, he's like a pimp and he meets his wife in the hospital, and she's just like, pimps don't cry. Like, I feel like it was like one of those moments where, again, sorry, totally out of left field, totally different film, but
I gotta see
It's
that
a-
movie just for that line. What do you mean, pimps don't cry? That's gonna be awesome.
Bad advice there.
Flo from Progressive, Kate, was actually in Angel with
no
David
fucking
Boreanaz.
way. No
Yo.
fucking way.
She was the records girl at Wolfram and Hart.
Oh my god, no. See, I couldn't get into Angel because I always thought Angel was just annoying. I'll
I
have
loved
to go
it.
back and look, but okay.
I wasn't a fan of Buffy, but I did like
try it
Angel.
again. See, I was the opposite. I loved Buffy. I didn't like Angel.
She's the flip side to my
Sorry for
point.
the sidetrack. Sorry.
It's okay. When you realize you screwed up royally, you're gonna wish you weren't literally born in summer. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, John, what was your last job? John be like, I plead the fifth. So then he's like, and my son, after a few days after his wife after he buries his wife, you steal his car and you kill his fucking dog. And it's like, Father, I can make this right. Oh, how do you plan to do that? By finishing what I started. The arrogance of this kid. It's like, did he fucking not hear a word I said?
I sent him on a suicide mission, but you're gonna get
Look,
him.
they took his dick off in Game of Thrones, but they didn't take his balls. So you know.
It took his brain.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Please, Father, let me do this. And it's like, Yosef. John Wick will come for you. And there's not a damn thing you can do because you can't do anything. Now get the fuck out of my sight. Because he grabs it by the back of the hair, and Yosef's like, oh my god, he's serious.
Well, I mean,
So-
he's scared because he's
Yeah.
scared for himself. He's scared for his son. These are totally, and again, going back to the good writing and like the convincing, it's just convincing. You feel the terror of everyone when they're like, oh my god, John Wick. That's John Wick's car. Like you
Everybody
don't
knows
know
who he is.
Right, you haven't seen his past, you don't know John Wick's past, and it's not till the end of the movie that you're like, oh man, yeah, no wonder everybody was scared of this guy. But the acting and the writing is so convincing where you're like, man, it's like every single scene unveils a new layer of the onion to like who John is and why everybody's scared of him. And they do a really good job of just kind of like revealing slowly, and then just actually like watching you let him, decimate an entire group of people and do his job. But it's just like, I commend this, but it's just every single scene, like you had said before, nothing's wasted. All of the acting is good. All of the buildup is good, and it's like peeling back a layer of an onion at a time. And it's just great.
Yeah.
And then when you look back at it, a lot of things just make a lot more sense. Like, because right after that, the hit squad comes to his house, and that hit squad is not going to do anything but slow him down to give him time to think. Like, he already knows these guys,
And I love
6
that
guys,
because
and they
because he
just
also
to give him
calls him.
time to ask.
He already
William
knows how they
Dafoe.
work or whatever.
Yeah, he already knows these
Yeah.
guys are gone, but it gives me time to distract him to ask William Dafoe to take up the contract.
Yep. Now, also, I do like how Vigo does call him. And we
Mm.
see these gold coins, and then we see that also Vigo has a bunch of gold coins, so we know that they're also connected. So then he actually calls Wick. He's like, and Wick is just listening on the other side of the phone, not saying a damn thing. And it's like, let's not return to our baser instincts and settle this like civilized. Click. I'm not here to listen to you unless you were groveling for your son, not wanting to. I don't care what you have to say. Your son is dead. It's only a matter of detail at this point.
Right.
So he's like, what did he say?
Right.
Enough. Not saying anything was saying enough. Task your crew. How many? How many do you have? So then we get the gun fu, which is great because that's actually what they coined it.
Yes.
Perfect. It's
That
perfect.
whole action sequence was awesome.
Yes, it really was because we also see the tattoo on the back, which is fortuitous or something like that. Fortune favors the bold. And after he when he kills these people, he does headshots just to make sure they are dead. He doesn't leave it to chance. This is an assassin that knows how to kill, that ensures or that knows that you shoot somebody in the body, it's going to take them a while to die. It's you shoot them in the head, guaranteed they are dead for a while. Or
it's like almost merciful because he's like, hey, I'm not here for you, I'm here for this other dude.
Yep.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you're just in my way to get to this other guy. So it's like almost merciful.
Yeah. So when he gets to the last guy and he forces the knife down into him, you can tell that is a digital knife blade because it's moving all around like this.
Right.
Like really shaking.
For
so
sure,
it's like that doesn't happen with a real knife.
Yeah.
But I love it when the cop shows up and he's like, evening, John. Evening, Jimmy. Noise complaint? Noise complaint. And then he sees the body. And then John looks back.
It's like, oh, shit.
You working again? No, just sorting some stuff out. Oh, I'll let you get to it then. Good night, John. Good night, Jimmy. Now, the cop fucking knows him.
Wow.
Now,
so it makes you wonder.
Well, you got to imagine if you're running crime, it's like, hey, man, we're going to pay off where you're living at. We're going to pay off so you don't have no trouble with the issues, Yep. And what was crazy, too, I'm thinking, too, like with mafia and stuff, you hear this stuff about, hey, you take an oath that the family and this and that is this is your family now. And then if you ever call to kill your loved one, you're supposed to do it. So, like, in a way, it's like, it's like, I'm glad he didn't because it was an awesome movie, but the father should have really killed his son.
It also makes you wonder, like, how many cops know about this underground scene that's going on, too.
It really does, actually. Yeah. It's like, do they know about it, or do only a certain amount of them know about it?
Which I like. It made it comic bookish. There's this League of Assassins and this and that. So it's like, when I see that, it's like, it's a little bit more of an action movie, more of a comic, instead of like based in reality where it's just some 40-year-old like waiting outside the house and just shooting someone with a 45, like real mafia stuff,
Now,
I liked that it added to the mystery of it because it's like, oh yeah, you have these questions, but also it gives room to like the later movies of like building that world. So yeah, but it makes it like not every question needs to be answered for a movie to be satisfying. But absolutely, I had the same questions.
Yeah.
And one of the things that actually sold the people at Millennium Media to take an interest in this film was the scene with Jimmy, because John Wick isn't reacting like a normal person, like a person who had just killed a bunch of people. He's stoic. He's like, just sorting some things out. He's completely deadpanned in that scene. He's not reacting like angry. He's completely dead calm. And he's like, "Good night, Jimmy." And
Yeah, but that's where Keanu's good with his acting. He's just right center. Not too much, not too. He's just balanced. He's not giving you too much. He's not dead, but he's not giving you too much. So it really worked in his favor. It's like we got this killer who doesn't have that much emotions. Like he's except for like when he's extreme. And yeah, all actors at that level could be extreme and cry and do that, but they don't really need him to do much because that character is. We all know what he's. We're looking forward to what he's gonna do.
Mm-hmm. And not to mention, Christian Freight said earlier that Keanu Reeves didn't like the idea of John Wick being in Mortal Kombat 12. Well, let's face it. Somebody from Outworld is going to accidentally kill John Wick's dog. And, well, John Wick's going to win all of Mortal Kombat because of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like...
That's the cheat code. That's the cheat code. Is get somebody to kill the dog, and then you just kill everybody.
That should be the fatality. Like, you just... Fatality. Finish him.
And, like,
and his dog. Yeah,
right.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah. So then we get the contract of $2 million for John Wick, and then he goes to Marcus to give him the contract. Now I like how Marcus is drinking all these fruit and vegetable juices, and he gives one to Beagle, and Beagle's like, nope. And Marcus is doing all this because he's got to stay in shape. He's still in the world. He's an assassin. Right. He's got to stay in shape. He's getting older, so best way to do it, have some juice or juice it up. And he asks, is the contract exclusive? No, it's open. It's a timely matter. It needs to be held quickly. Consider it done. Would you kill John Wick for $2 million? Consider it done. Yeah. I'll kill him. And unbeknownst, he doesn't kill him. He ends up just fucking helping him, actually.
Yeah.
Well, he can't say no.
Yeah.
If he says no, he just puts a contract on his life. And he's sitting there just in his house like, okay, they got me. What do you need? So I'm going to say whatever the heck you need me to say.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to stall and see if we can get John out of this.
Well, actually, no, he wouldn't do that because they do have a code. Mm-hmm. It's like, would you kill John Wick for $2 million? And if, say, Marcus did say no, all right, just curious, just please don't get involved just don't get involved.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not going to take the contract, don't get involved because I don't want to go after you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he would leave it at that. If Marcus stayed out of it, he would live, basically. That's the theory that I have, because they do have a code, which is mentioned later on by
Perkins
Winston.
or
by the chick, right?
Yeah.
No, Winston, because he's like, we live by a code, so that's why. But anyway,
is that why John didn't kill her?
Perkins? No.
Yeah.
He wanted information. Mm-hmm. Also, he felt no need to kill her on Continental grounds.
Right.
Oh, I see.
So the Continental, we get there, and she's all dressed up. I think that's Adrian Palicki. Who played Perkins? Let me make sure I get the name right.
I'm so proud of you, Fade. You watched this movie, unlike The Thing.
Perkins.
Hey, I watched that thing.
Yep, Adrian Palicki.
Okay.
In fact, it's still one of my favorite movies.
Yeah. And it's like, good to see you, John. Perkins. And so then we see now these gold coins. Also, I forgot to cover that he made a dinner reservation for 12, meaning 12 bodies are being waste management. And he's like, I thought you left this world behind. So are we going to expect any more from you? Goodbye, Harry. John. And each one of those coins is worth $10,000, by the way.
Oh, damn.
I looked it up. But
Dang,
the coin is
I did not know that.
It's more symbolic than monetary
Right, than
worth.
actual money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
because
that's
it's basically where it lets you know that, or it lets people know that you are in the know.
Well, like when he went in that club and then he put the coin in and the door opened, like, does he get change or what? How did that work? They're like, oh,
No.
okay. It's like,
it's basically, I'm in the know, or you're allowed in if you're in the know.
Wow.
Gotcha.
So we then, and I also do love all the parlance of this, of this order, of this world, because it's like,
it's sophisticated.
When the old girl get a facelift, about 4 years ago, same owner. And so he gets up, he gets his room, he goes down into the club, and you see Adrian there sipping on a wormed martini. Are those real fucking worms?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if they're alive, but yeah, it's part of it.
No, they're not alive because they've been just, and obviously
pickled?
It's been disinfected in the alcohol.
I could never do it. I'm sorry, I'm never going to do that.
No,
but anyway, he goes. Ian McShane.
Yeah, it's gross.
Ian McShane as Winston is one of the best freaking roles ever, man. He's like, Jonathan, to what do we owe the pleasure? And last I checked, you were the one doling out the beatings, not receiving them. Rusty, I guess. And he's like, so what do we owe the pleasure? Yosef Tarasov. What about him? I'd like to talk with him. But talk, you say. I'm familiar with the parlance, John, so let me ask you, have you returned to the fold? Just visiting. So this is all coded. And he's like, have you thought about this? I mean, chewed down to the bone. You got out once. You dipped so much as a pinky back into this pond, you may find something reaches out and pulls you back in. That is the warning that was ignored. And so he tells him, he's like, so have a drink, relax, and whatever. And so he tells him it's personal. So then he goes up to Addie, who's the bar girl. Gotta love Abby, man. I mean, the way that she those eyes are just like, this chick is fucking crazy if she gets into a killer. But she also calls him Jonathan, which is interesting because nobody else calls him Jonathan except for Winston. So
is she Winston's employee in a way? Because Winston looks like he owns
more
that bar.
like a respect kind of thing, if anything. Because
maybe she got.
He seems like he's running that bar. He knows everything that's going on, and
just
that's where the
information.
Christian
name. He runs the Continental. He's the owner of the Continental.
Oh, okay.
So he runs the whole place. He is the manager.
So that is his. Yeah. So she's probably been introduced to him as Jonathan because Winston introduced her as Jonathan. Makes sense.
Well, thing is, Vanya, funny you bring that up. I'm thinking that they actually did hook up at one point because she calls him Jonathan. That's a personal way of acknowledgement. Everybody else calls
Mr.
him
Wick.
John.
Yeah.
So she knew him in the biblical sense, is what.
Kind of, maybe. Who knows? I like the who plays Winston. Yep. And so, Vanya is from overseas, folks. Just so you know.
Oh, okay.
So his reaction here is, it's amusing, yes, but they apparently put real worms in drinks.
I thought it started with like tequila bottles. They would do that for some reason.
Yeah,
same.
Real scorpions. It's like they put real scorpions in suckers.
Didn't they put spiders in drinks too, or
I've seen the scorpions. I live on the border of Arizona, so I've seen that a lot of the scorpion stuff. It's weird.
I've seen the scorpion. I've seen the worm, and not the dance, but in tequila or whatever. And then if you end up getting the worm or the scorpion, you're supposed to just take it.
Yeah.
You're just supposed to,
That's what the TJ
better be fucking
don't eat the
venom,
worm.
Otherwise, I'm not going to be putting that in my mouth, man.
Well, wait, what was the first part? Sorry.
It better be devenomed, otherwise I'm not putting that in my mouth. The scorpion.
Yeah, right. Like, I'm not like tearing up my esophagus for a shot. No, thank you.
Yeah.
No, these are scorpion can be found in suckers, in lollipop suckers.
Yeah, I've seen that too
And
because
suckers
they'll
that
sell
don't watch
those.
where they don't watch where they're walking.
Right, exactly.
Yep.
No, I've definitely seen that when I go by in like street tacos. So, but I've never been. I don't have the balls to buy one or to try it. No, thank you.
And also we cut to during the conversation with Winston, we also cut to Vigo and his lawyer. Wick's at the Continental. We have a contact there who's willing to take him out for us. How very brazen! If they're willing to break the rules of Continental, double the bounty. And then we cut to Winston. You know the rules. No business is to be conducted on Continental grounds, or less incurring heavy penalties. And it's like, oh shit, yeah. And yes, Vanya's from Croatia.
Oh, cool.
Ah.
So I meant hooked up in the movies after. Well, we all know that that's definitely not meant to be. I mean, especially if they already hooked up before, so I guess it's not a good idea. But anyway, she gives him a drink, and she's like, it's on the house. And before he takes the drink, he sees that there's a message on the napkin besides her parting kiss. The red circle. And so he looks back and sees that Winston toasts him. And John's like, okay, no time to rest, time to kill. And I love how we see Yosef at the red circle, and the security is all going status up and down, up and down, up and down, and all over. And he's like, hey, brothers, come have a drink with us. And he's like, I'm here to babysit a boy, I'm here to protect a boy, not babysit a drunkard. Are you afraid of the fucking boogeyman? I'm not. No, but you should be. Want another fucking bottle? It's like, what a spoiled little bitch, man. And so then we
that was a crazy scene following that waitress in the bikini
to Kevin Nash as the doorman. Yeah, it really is nice. Yeah. And so
I was like, what the heck? Where's this
Kevin
going?
Nash is the doorman. Yeah. He's like, the way he reacts, he's like, oh no, I'm dead. Good evening, Francis. Mr. Wick. And he's like, you lost weight. About 60 kilograms or 60 pounds. And he actually says kilograms. And it's like, yeah, that's not the right translation. But it really is a nice scene. He's like, are you here on business, sir? Afraid so, Francis. Why don't you take the night off? Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
And I mean, this lets you know that Wick knows him, and he doesn't want to kill him. He's like, I don't want to kill him.
He's not a mindless killing machine. Like,
we have relationships with these people. You know?
I think it adds to that layer of, like, there is honor, there is a code, there is this mystique behind it, and I like that. I liked all of these scenes where you kind of get like, okay, yeah, they're killers, but they're not just like going around and like murdering everybody. Like there's a purpose and there's a mission behind it. There's like John shows respect to different people show respect to John, and this like layered it's super layered, and I love it. It's great.
It saved the cat again, he's we're gonna see him kill these people, but we see him give mercy first. You always see the good traits first, And then another thing I noticed is Kevin Nash. He's huge. He's like 6'7", right? But when they shot it from above, right? And they say in film school, when you shoot it from above, you're looking down on a person. And a person's vulnerable. If you shoot it up, the person's powerful. So it like right away, you're like, oh wow, that's Kevin Nash, or oh that man's huge, and you're already looking down on him. Like they're already, like the director is showing you, like, look down on this guy. This guy is he's food right now with John Wick, and that's how John Wick is looking at him. He's looking down on him, like, I can take you right now, but I'm gonna let you go because You know,
And I
so it's little
appreciate
subtle
all of these
things.
details. No, yeah, and I like all of
Yeah.
these details that they put in there of like, because they cared about the craft of this movie and the craft of the storytelling, even to those little details. It's great.
Yeah. A lot of passion, a lot
And
of love, you know.
so then we see him go after Victor, which is one of Yosef's men. And when he hits him, he's like, "Where's Yosef? Fuck you, motherfucker." So then he basically has to do the Wick Fu on his ass. And so he's then tells him, he's like, "Where's Yosef?" And so he forces it out of him. And then he tells him, "You killed my dog and you stole my car." And so he freaking kills him. He is the only one who he kills slowly.
Mm.
And it's the one who deserves it less.
Yeah.
Because Victor was the one that was always talking Yosef down from being stupid.
Mm.
He's like, "Put your gun down, man. Just fucking leave it alone, dude, you know?" But he still always deferred to Yosef because Yosef was the boss's son, you know? So it's like, you may have had a reason, but you are still my enemy. And you were involved with killing my dog. So yes, you die. And I like it when he gets to the bathhouse, Think by Kaleda is playing. And that is a great freaking song. I fell in love with that song the first time I heard it. And when he makes sure to kill these people after they report in. So he's giving himself maximum time to get to Yosef. So it's like status, all right, clear, slash, there you go. And then you see him grab one guy, stab him under the neck here, and then holding his mouth shut. And he's looking in his eyes as he falls.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that shows you that this man is enjoying what he's doing to a degree, but yes, focused.
Yeah,
and he knows exactly what he's doing.
Mm.
I thought the two is like, hey man, it's nothing personal. Just, you know what I mean? It's
you need to die.
I got
you know, it's
just, you know, it's almost like an apology. Like, you know, like, sorry.
Yeah, like he's looking in his eyes, I'm sorry, but you have to die.
Yeah, it's just, you know.
You were on the wrong place, wrong side, or wrong place, wrong time, dude.
Wrong time.
Yeah.
Yep. And so then we see that he gets caught and everybody's going after him. But Yosef pulls the gun, but he already has the gun on him. And then I love that look because he's like this, holding the guy down. Boom. He's just still looking at Yosef.
Yeah, you could tell like his father's words like rung in his head right there. You can do nothing against John Wick.
Because he tries pulling the gun and Wick already has the gun on him, and he's like, it's like looking in the eyes of the abyss, and the abyss just caught him or just hit him. It's like, oh shit. And I just love it. It's like, boom. He doesn't even take his eyes off of Yosef. But it's because of that giant fucking Russian that comes up out of the bath that stops him from killing Yosef.
Yeah, that was like a big burly guy too.
And he takes the knife in the same spot that Kevin Nash took.
I wonder if Kevin Nash was on set, like, hey, make sure. Listen, I've been here before, bro. You want to make sure. let me just look at this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's with the stunt coordinator, like, you know.
So just make sure that that's a fake knife.
Yeah. Kevin Nash is a tough mother. You know what I mean? I mean, he's tough from wrestling, but that was a whole nother level, bro. Like, you know.
I know, because when frickin' Thomas Jane swings it and he's like, he's laughing because it hurt. It's like,
yeah, he didn't want to go.
It's like, yeah. Oh my
but he
God.
kept rolling. He's like, bro, Hollywood owes him. That he deserves more roles off of that. Just be like, yo, dude, that guy got stabbed and kept it rolling for production. You know, I kept him in production for a minute. You know?
And also, if you notice the way that John Wick is very close quarters, they actually have stances or names for these stances for when he is shooting like this. He is keeping his body a minimized target. So when he is quickly flipping mags, and also when he flicks out the mag, that was something that John Wick did, or that was something that Keanu Reeves decided to do, where he flicks the mag out to reload. That was actually something that John Wick himself thought of.
Yeah, or Keanu, yeah.
Or Keanu, yeah, I keep calling
people.
him John Wick.
No, it's fine. But yeah, people copy that now, and even like gun trainers are like, "Wow, that's smart. I got to use that."
Absolutely smart. Yeah.
Yeah, and
it's like just flick it out. There you go.
It's so great. Yeah.
I wonder if John Wick or Keanu watched I think I'm saying this name right. Chow Yun Fat. Remember he had the two guns, and that's the first kind of time we saw it in I know it was an overseas movie, but first time we kind of saw it in Hollywood, and a lot of people copied that whole style.
Yeah.
You know, I wonder if he got some moves from there with real tactical people. You know.
Yeah, I just like that you can tell Keanu did his research with okay, what's the fastest way to reload, and he did his gun training. I just you can tell that they did their time, and everybody put in the effort to make this movie what it was, and
it has to look good too.
Yeah, and it looks great. It's seamless. And yeah, just overall, great job on everybody's part. They all did a good job of trying to make this look as believable as possible.
Definitely.
And there's a list of actors who actually do rapid reload. Ryan Reynolds, Alicia Keys, or whoever it is from Smoking Aces, long hair chick. Bradley Cooper, and Keanu Reeves, as well as Sly Stallone in the movie The Expendables, because boom, 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 slip or drop, slip, back in, boom, 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 drop, slip, back in, where Bradley Cooper from A-Team did a 5.52 reload in like 3 seconds flat, where he was shooting off the side of a storage container in the Baghdad sequence, where he's shooting, drops, reload, clicks, back in, shooting, and it's like, damn, dude, these guys know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So we then get to more of the fight where he finally now the guy with the twisted mustache, bald head, and long beard. I've seen that guy in other movies too. I just saw him recently in another movie that I was watching where he played a freaking Russian bad guy. He was also in The Accountant, where he played the guy that Ben Affleck chokes out at the farm with the belt. And it's like...
He's like the Russian Danny Trejo.
Pretty much.
I love it.
Fucking perfect.
Great.
Yeah. And it really is nice. And so we then get the red circle shootout where he actually takes shots in the chest and falls. And he actually has to fight people without the weapons and whatnot. And I like how when he runs out, he pops the dude in the neck with the gun and then flicks out the thing, pops in another one, and then he puts him down. And he also has multiple guns, knives, and whatnot. So when he gets thrown over the edge after he gets stabbed with the champagne bottle, that's the agent from Matrix Reloaded, the one that also fights Morpheus and gets cut up with the sword. But yeah, that was him, and he gets thrown over the edge. Now, if you pay close attention, they actually do a cut just before he falls or just before he lands, because it was a stunt actor who got thrown over, and then it was Keanu who does the land, which is pretty cool. Also, there was a thing down there to stop, so they had to cut it, obviously.
Right.
And so then he pulls out his 25 and pops off a couple shots, and then he gets out of there while he's injured. He also took Victor's phone, and Yosef, I love when Yosef is running through the red circle on the dance floor. He is fucking terrified. It's like, his eyes just, and then you see Wick just slow motion coming into there.
Like a shark.
It's like
beautiful.
It is like death is coming for you, and it doesn't matter how long it takes. He will find you. This is basically Wick is death in this point, and it really is great. Yes, he is very intelligent in Hollywood. Fun thing about Keanu Reeves, folks, he did a freaking tour bus as a tour guide for people who were on a layover with him, or who were on the same layover plane or flight. He decided to give a freaking couple-hour tour, and he did it he paid for the tour, and he was the tour guide for these people. Whenever he takes photos, he doesn't touch people.
He puts his hands like 2 inches around them.
Yep. Because
he's just an all-around good dude. I don't think anybody has had anything negative to say about him. Like, I just went to Comic-Con, a couple months back, and Carrie-Ann Moss was talking about Keanu. She had nothing but the nicest things to say about him. And it's like, I've never heard any negative comment about how Keanu Reeves has acted in Hollywood or toward other people.
And he navigated in such a dirty world. Like, Hollywood's such a dirty world. And
and he's just a nice dude.
Harry Weinsteins. And he navigated through all that, found success, and, kept his image
I don't know
clean.
what he did to keep himself grounded, but good job.
There are some good people. There are some good people in Hollywood, and he probably found the right ones. And
he just stuck with
most of them are conservative, yes. However, there are some who are left-leaning that are pretty good themselves. But he's apolitical. That is what I like about Keanu. He's apolitical.
Right.
People have asked him political questions all the time, and he's like, I don't really get into that, really.
Yeah,
because they've tried to bait him.
He's just
and he won't take it.
Yeah, and he won't do it. Yeah, my something I saw recently. Maybe it might have been because my phone's always listening to me, and I just rewatched John Wick for this stream. But this older interview. Sorry, my dog's going a little crazy. You hear him running around. He was talking about like his perfect day. He's like, wake up, have some morning sex, eat a good breakfast, ride on your motorcycle, see some friends, come home, take a nap, have some more sex. And I was like, this guy knows what's up. Like, he's not, he's just, there's nothing. Yeah, I'll have to send you the interview because it's just the funniest thing. He's just talking about like his perfect day is like reading some books, riding a motorcycle, having some good sex. Like, and he has actually a really tragic story. Like, he had a wife or a fiance who died, and then he's just maintained like that very humble or low key, not like you don't see a lot of him messing with paparazzi or whatever, Like, he's just maintained this really cool demeanor. I don't know. Keanu's one of those dudes that I would invite over for dinner, and you know what I mean. Like, he just seems like a guy you could have a beer with. You know what I mean?
The only bad story I ever heard from people that I know that work in Hollywood, and it's not even that bad. It's Keanu had a room at a very like exclusive hotel, and he went to the liquor store down there and found some homeless people that were like in the alley, and he just ended up drinking with them and being loud. And the cops came.
That's not bad. That's
the cops came.
That's awesome.
And then, like, all right, you guys get out of here. What the fucking Keanu? What are you, And that's a powerful dude in Hollywood. Like, you don't fuck with Keanu, dude. And he was just like, nah. They're like, take it up to the room, bro. And he's like, nah, man. And I don't know if he took the homeless people up to the room and they gave him showers and they still got drunk. I don't know, but that was like, yeah, Keanu, man, that's like the wildest he gets. It's like, he
got drunk with some homeless people and got a little
that, like, hey, man, okay. I'm gonna go drink, and you guys look here and like, hey, can you buy us a drink? Yeah, I'll buy you a drink. I know. I won't just buy you a drink. I'll drink with you.
I'll drink with you. Yeah, that's beautiful.
How's this? Beautiful. And then just, and they just get wild and talking shit. And it's a real exclusive hotel. So they're like, Like, hey, there's these crazy people in the alley, and they don't know it's Keanu.
And it's Keanu.
John Wick invited the Bowery into the Continental.
Oh my god.
That's funny.
So when he returns to the Continental, as you were or somebody pointed out, with the way the cinematography is, pointing down makes him, you see him small, and pointing up makes you seem big. When he's walking into the Continental, they're shooting up at him. It's like this man is tall or larger,
bigger than life. Yeah.
Yet he is also coming in wounded.
Yeah.
So it tells you that it's a contradictory take, so to speak.
Yeah.
Also, when Victor calls, or when Joseph calls Victor, he picks him up. He's like, "Victor, where the fuck are you?" Victor's dead. Everything has a price, bitch. And then tosses the fucking phone. He's like, "Is the doctor in?" "Yes, sir. 24/7. All right, good. How's your laundry?" I'm afraid
it's not.
Nobody is that good, sir. I thought not. Could you have, or perhaps a drink, sir? Bourbon, perhaps. That'd be great. I mean, everybody knows his favorite drink is bourbon.
Yeah.
And so we get another Matrix cast member, Randall Duck Kim, who was the Keymaster and is now the Doctor. And I love it. He's like, "So what kind of movement am I looking at?" "Well, if you're looking to heal, I'd keep it marginal. However, if you still got business, you're gonna take 2 of these, and you're
gonna rip the stitches. You're gonna bleed, but
you'll have full function." Do you need anything for the pain? "No, I think I got that covered."
With the bourbon.
And at this point, Marcus is set up with a sniper rifle out there. Now, if you notice when they're doing the zoom in on Marcus, notice how he there's a little bit of wind that's blowing his hair. So when he points it directly, when he zeroes in on Wick and then pulls the trigger, he knows the wind will bend the bullet a little bit so that he'll miss. That's how good of a sniper that Marcus is. He knows the wind, speed, and all that shit without a reader and a spotter. So he also sees that Perkins is coming in, so it's like, I need to warn him that.
Right.
I mean, it's like, you could have killed him. You could have easily killed him, and you weren't on the Continental when you did it. However, you have too much respect for this man, and he's going to get your ass killed because you're an idiot. But we get the fight between Perkins and Wick, where she comes in. She's willing to break the bounty. He's like, "I didn't know Miss Perkins got out of bed for more than 3. Vigo's given me 4 to break house rules. It's unwise, I assure you."
Right.
And so when she also uses her jacket as a weapon and using or puts it in her mouth and shit, it's like, this is smart fighting. In which they actually do have a style that they talk about with her. I couldn't remember in the trivia because I didn't watch it on Amazon. They have all that shit over there. But you notice that she goes for his weaknesses. She sees a little bit of blood on his side. She starts hammering down on it. And you see that the stitches indeed do tear and some blood gouts a little, which is nice. I also like how the phone is ringing and it's Sharon on the other end. It's fucking great. And he wraps her face up and then starts hammering her, throws her through the thing, and he picks up the phone. "I'm sorry, I apologies for calling at such a late answer or hour, but we've received a number of grievances from your floor concerning the noise." "Yeah, sorry, I was dealing with an uninvited guest." And he's like, "Do you need perhaps a dinner reservation?" "Perhaps. Let me get back to you on that. Because the dinner reservation is code for
clean up the mess. We gotta clean up his body.
An uninvited guest means he was attacked.
Right.
Meaning he didn't he didn't attack anybody on Continental grounds. They attacked him.
Right, and isn't that like Continental rules? Is like that's your safe
that's
space.
a neutral ground. You do not attack anyone.
You don't. Yeah. So and everybody knows, because everybody knows John Wick. They know he doesn't break rules. They know he has respect. They have respect for him. You know what I mean? So if you called in, as John Wick saying, I had an uninvited guest and it's code, they'll cover for him because they know that he's a respectable guy. He respects the rules. He respects the house. He respects the owner,
Yeah.
So it goes to that layering of, oh, hey, okay. So we don't know much about John Wick before this movie started, but as this movie progresses, we're like, oh, because of the way that other people treat him, we learn a lot about this character.
Yeah.
And then I like how, it's right here. Perkins uses Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu where Wick uses Judica.
I was thinking that because a lot of jiu-jitsu, like old school, Hoist Gracie jiu-jitsu was like using the gi and using it against you to get leverage or to even choke you out. Like, like they have ways to choke you out with your own gi. Just
with
like,
your own gi, yes.
Yeah, just like,
And so then I like it when he picks her up. She's like, no.
And she's like crawling out of the freaking doorway.
Yeah. Where's Vigo? I'm not going to tell you shit. Do you really want to die here, Perkins? At that point, he is within rights to defend. He can kill her, and he would have no problem.
For sure.
Or they would, or the hotel would have no problem.
The house would have no problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so
that's room
she's
service. Do I need to get room service or not? Or, it was room service, right? What he said.
No, it wasn't room service that stopped him, but
nobody asked him to
it was another guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Do I know you?" I'm thinking so. And notice how he keeps his hands up and he turns to show the gun to Harry. So it's like, "Oh, hey, John. Hey, Harry. You need any help? No, I think I got it. I'll leave it to you. Hey, Harry, you keen on making a coin? Babysitting, sleeping one? Catch and release, catch and release." All right, sure, yeah. And this tells you that Harry is in the game, but he doesn't have a lot of coins. So it's because when he reacts to the coin and, what's her name, sees it, she's like, how would you like to make more than just a gold coin? I mean, this is a proud achievement. This guy just got a coin from John Wick, But, she breaks her thumb, escapes, puts a bullet through Harry's head because she doesn't give a shit about the rules.
Well, then she doesn't have very many options because, it's already known probably, or getting ready to be known that she's already broken the rules, so...
For sure, yeah.
And so Wick goes to Little Russia and burns down the church.
That was the funniest scene on.
And I love it. He's like, "Ladies, out. Have a good day." And he's like, "Do you really think you could get me or you really think I could get you to go?" "Yes, I do. Code. Vigo will kill me." Crack. Boom. I love it.
And
And he's like, "Fuck it." Puts the code in. Honestly, what do you think you're going to do with all that? This. White phosphorus grenades, folks. Throws them in. Boom. Whole place goes up. So Vigo shows up, and he's watching, and he takes 2 more pain pills before he goes into that church, by the way. So he knows that shit's about to happen. And he fails at killing Vigo. Which is nice because it shows you that John Wick isn't always paying attention to everything.
Right.
He's a man of focus. So he was narrowly focused at that point. So this scene where Vigo is talking with him, where he's tied up, the people keep on asking me if I'm back and shit. Yeah, I'm back. But before that, it's like, it was just a car, just a fucking dog, just a dog. Vigo.
Yeah.
When my wife died, I was devastated. But when that dog arrived on my doorstep, I received a semblance of hope, a last gift from my wife, a chance to grieve unalone. And your son stole that from me, took that from me, killed that from me.
So great.
And it
Mhm.
is.
So
It
great.
really is.
Yeah.
I know
great. And then you see-
I know I shit on Keanu at the beginning for saying he wasn't a good actor, but this scene
But-
was acted well.
That
Yes.
scene makes it up for it, like, by a mile on that.
For sure.
Because
Yes.
when Vigo, or when
That
he
makes it up
starts
for Bill
singing,
and
your
Ted.
son took that from me. Vigo
Bill
is
and
like,
Ted is
"Oh,
great. Shut
No,
up.
I'm just playing. I'm just
Yeah.
playing. I'm playing. Actually.
And because you see Vigo's reaction, he's like, oh God. And he realizes that he can't talk Wick down. And
Right.
that his son indeed, or he now knows the full relevance of what his son did. It's like, there is no stopping at this right now.
Mm.
There is no stopping Wick at this point.
Yeah, because
So it's like, just fucking
in
kill him.
Wick's mind, he took his wife, not his dog. You know,
Right.
like it
He
wasn't
took
just a
the memory of
dog,
his wife, essentially.
right? And like I love my dog, so if anybody came into my house and attacked my dog, absolutely I would kill them. But
Mm.
this dog meant more to John Wick than just your normal pet. You know,
Mm.
like
Yeah.
whatever his relationship with his wife was, that was what he stole. It was like he was killing his wife's dog, or he was killing
He was killing the last gift from his wife.
from his wife.
Mm.
Yeah, and he acts like he's killing his wife because he didn't really kill his wife. Obviously, we saw him, at the beginning of the film, but the meaning behind the dog is what they didn't understand.
Yep. People keep on asking me if I'm back, and I haven't really had an answer, but I'm thinking, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm back.
Great,
So
great
you
scene.
can hand me your son, or you can die screaming alongside him. Because this is Wick with nothing else left to lose. This is Wick basically making his point known. You either give me your
Basically
son,
unhinged.
or you all die.
Yeah.
There is no middle ground here. Well, turns out there is
got
middle
nothing
ground
left
after.
to do. Yeah.
Turns out there is a little bit of middle ground if he forces it, because he only goes as far as he needs to. So after he escapes there, kills that guy, and Marcus saves his ass again, shooting through stained glass and knowing where to shoot, that's pretty fucking talented, by the way, Marcus.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. He gets out with the pumper shotgun, and I love it. He causes them to crash. He gets up on the frickin' gun and just blows the frickin' driver away. And frickin' Michael Nyquist, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So he gets out. Boom! Ah, where is he? Shit! I love that. So he's like, shit! Because he's basically realizing he doesn't have any more options here. So he's like, I give you my word. You let me, or you let it, or I tell you where he is. You let me walk away. Pull the contract. Done. And so he gives him the address. He's like, they'll know you're coming. Of course. But it won't matter. Now, when Vigo is sitting down there with his arms down like this, and rolling a joint to smoke it and whatnot. This is a man who is, or this gesture where his arms are down, basic. Well, let me get more on camera here. Where his arms are down like this on the table is a gesture of giving up. I have just given up. I have nothing left. I just gave up my own kid to this man. And he then says, make the arrangements, because he realizes that he just killed his son. John Wick is merely the bullet that killed him. And I love it because that other dude is playing like Call of Duty or some shit. He's like, would you stop playing that fucking video game? Would you stop playing that fucking zinc?
Do you think it was the failure of it's not just he didn't kill his son, is this as powerful as he is, and he's a powerful man, that he wasn't able to protect his son, and he should have raised his son better. Like, that's going. I'm thinking, like, if he's a father, like, dude, this is my fault because my son's an asshole. And I should have raised him better.
Yes.
You know, and it's just that's pretty harsh, you know?
It's
And
yeah,
also
he
he
failed his
kept-
son and he failed as a father. Yeah, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say he was also killing all those bodyguards, like he was in the club too, as they're checking in too, if you notice.
Yeah, PTSD. You just saw it in real life, and you're over there doing this digital
shit.
murdering.
Also, by the way, notice how John didn't give up Perkins when he's like, or all the shit that I had, all the leverage on the city was fucking priceless and shit. It's like, well, Perkins led me here.
Right.
He could have said that, but he's like, instead, he's like, yeah, kind of enjoyed that.
He gave her a way out, basically.
Yep, he did. It's like, okay, you've given me that information, you get to live a little longer. But that just shows you how honorable Wick is. He didn't rat out Perkins, and yet, unfortunately, because of that, Perkins becomes a big thorn in here.
Yeah.
That's the constant
she
theme,
rats
though.
out Marcus.
Right.
With every interaction, there's that constant theme of he does the honorable thing. Yeah, we're in a dirty game, but he does the honorable thing.
And that honor costs him.
Mm-hmm.
So after he gets, I love how he goes up with the safe house where he's killing everybody, and he grabs the sniper rifle, and he says Prio, which is actually not check, but clear. So, yeah, because you see it, or you hear one of them down in the red circle, they say Prio, and it comes across clear in the translation. So it's like, yeah, that's a little bit, they keep fucking up the shit, you know? So he ends up shooting everybody, and he gets them to run, and he blows up the cars so they can't escape. It's a perfect scenario. And so he blows away one guy, and he realizes that Vigo or Yosef has nowhere to go. Gut shots him, and just as he's about to say, it was just a fucking boom. I just love it. He walks right up, no words, boom. Kills Yosef, and then he just walks away.
Yep.
It really is just that easy. And that's when
it was symbolic.
He
didn't let him.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's symbolic. He didn't let him finish. I'm not gonna let you finish that sentence. You know, that shows power. You know, like you're not gonna say that in front of me, literally, because I'm gonna stop you. So now I thought that was really cool.
Indeed. And so he then we then see that he meets up with Marcus, and Perkins is out there watching him because she's gonna follow Wick because she really wants to fucking kill Wick, but she ends up seeing something that's useful. Oh shit, this guy was hired by my boss to kill Wick, and instead he's chatting with Wick like they're good friends.
And Marcus is saying, like, are you back out or whatever?
Like, you find your old life, you got away from your old life, you'll find your way back to it. And so also Wick gets a new car because of the unfortunate incident the night previous. And it's a pretty good car too. But as Marcus gets stopped by Vigo's men, I love that. He walks in, he takes off all of his shit, puts away his guns, takes off his watch. Well, let's get on with it. Whatever the fuck this is. Hello, Marcus. And so we then get the call to Wick. This is John. And it's intercut between what has happened and what hasn't happened yet, you know?
I love how they do that. That's the theme too. Yeah. They trim the fat. It's like, we got this scene. This scene could drag out, and we're just gonna edit it up and chop it up, and we'll leave out the parts to your imagination, and then we'll just give you the exactly what you need to know basis, and it works so well, you know.
Yep. And he tells him, it's like, you pulled the contract, and while it was open, you had every chance, every opportunity. I turned that into a gift, by the way. You had every chance, every opportunity. I use that a lot in my political post. But to kill John Wick, and if you would have done your job, my son would have still be alive. And so then he puts a knife in his leg, and then Perkins comes in. Why am I not surprised? And for a penny and for a pound, well, he's like, you go out on my terms. No, my good sir, I go out on my own. And he does. Well played, old friend. So while John is heading straight for Marcus's place because he realized that Marcus is dead, well, you see that Perkins is waiting there. She's supposed to kill John. However, she just received a call that would trump that. I apologize for calling at this late hour. You've been summoned, essentially. So she goes down to the wherever that place is. And it's like, oh shit, she's now surrounded. Oh, Miss Perkins, your membership to the Continental has been by thine own hand revoked. Because she killed on Continental grounds.
You done fucked up, Ron.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And notice, this is a small contradictory, which we will get to in the second movie. He had no problem having her killed, right?
Right.
In the second or next week, we will be discussing John Wick 2. I will tell you why this is contradictory. So, or why they lead it to a contradiction. But we see that Wick showing up at the place and sees Marcus, and he gets a call from Winston. I know what you're thinking, Jonathan. We live by a certain code, which is why I'm telling you that a certain chopper is being fueled at a certain helipad by a certain someone, or for a certain someone. Well, a lot of people are like, well, how would he know about the cert or all of that? John worked for him, remember? So there are all these reviewers out there who are like, well, how would he know where the helipad is? Because he fucking probably took Vigo there before. It's very blatantly obvious if you've watched this movie. You know?
Pay
hey,
attention.
Kamen Rider, good to see you. So, yeah.
Yeah, they definitely went there before because, it's like, that one. I mean, he doesn't even have to put it on it, that obvious,
Yep.
So definitely. Totally agree.
So then we get to the climax where John is given chase. And let's see here. Ready. Yep, the chase. And this is where there's just really bad dialogue because the lawyer is like, oh my God, I knew he'd come. What the fuck's wrong with this guy? It's like, dude, shut up. Just shut up.
Wow.
And he's like, somebody give me a gun. I need a gun. Somebody give me a gun. It's like, what the fuck are you going to do with a gun? You'll probably shoot yourself in the foot.
Or someone
and
else.
The guy in the back's just laughing his ass off, going, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I like that because he's like, oh God, it just won't stop. But hey, I'll enjoy it before I die. And then he hands him his gun. He's like, or he says, good luck in Russian. He's like, English, please. Good luck. Fucking Russian cocksucker. I mean, you say that about your boss, but you're lucky because you're about to die anyway. So he actually shoots at Wick, almost hits him. But then Wick just does Carfu on him and shoots him in the leg.
Well, what's funny is that kind of remind me of one of his commercials that he did that I went through the car or something.
Yeah.
And then all I can think of is like that commercial when that happened.
Yeah. Because then he's like, no! Oh, it just falls out. So then we get the fight because after Vigo tries running him out and he ends up getting away, the rain starts and we get the fight. And he's like, John, no more bullets, John. No more bullets. No more words. Let's just frickin' fight it out, man. Michael Nyquist, as good as an actor, sucks at fighting.
Yeah.
He has no reach.
Yeah.
He was like,
yeah. That's so true.
And And
Like,
freaking
why
Rick
did they
is
do
like,
this to this man? This man is way more
What?
accomplished than this fool.
right?
I mean, hey, hats off to the 80s fighting at the end. You know what I mean? We had this 80s fight off where it was like the bad guy versus the good guy. And
Yeah.
But nah, man, this man is too polished as an actor.
Yeah. But hey, it works. And so he's like, what happened to us, John? We were professionals, civilized. Do I look civilized to you? And so he's like, all right, no civilization? Pull out a knife.
Yeah.
John allows himself to be stabbed by this damn thing to get Vigo close.
Mm.
And it's like...
Then breaks Vigo's arm, too.
He breaks his arm because you see the bone. And I'm like, oh, damn.
Well, John
Pull
has
the
a
knife
knife in
out.
his ankle. Like, why didn't, like, remember when he's all loading up in the hotel? He has guns, knives, and
he used that at the club.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay, that's where.
Yep. And so it's like, yeah. So then he puts it right here, which is apparently, the blade is long enough that it can puncture a lung.
Mm.
So Vigo is going to die. But he leaves him to die there, slowly. And he's like, oh, be seeing you, John. Yeah, be seeing you. And then and then we're back at the beginning of the movie where he's watching the video of his wife, and you hear, let's go home, John. That invigorates John to live. It's right after hearing that he's kicking up on his second wind so that he can live longer. So he breaks into the vet, staples himself up. Gotta say, it takes a lot to deal with that kind of pain, folks.
He's going on anger. He's going insanity, though.
No, this is adrenaline. This is adrenaline that's keeping him alive.
Yeah. Adrenaline, and obviously he's had some practice with going through things that like, oh, I'm in pain, I'm still gonna push through it. So it's training and adrenaline and like, okay,
high pain
even
tolerance.
though we get high pain tolerance, but I mean, even though we get like 4 more movies or 3 more movies after this with John Wick, I don't think he expected, or maybe he was okay with dying after this. Like, he was just like, I'm going to end this dude. Like, I'm going to end this dude even if I die, because like it's honoring his wife and his wife's legacy by doing this in his mindset. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then he sees these dogs that are either, I think, getting ready to be put down. So he takes one of the puppies out and walks it home, and that's the end of this movie. So, objectively speaking, meaning you're taking your bias out of this, how would you guys rate this film? We'll start with Kate.
Ooh, 9.5 out of 10. The execution was great. The pacing was good. The writing was good. The attention to detail was good. Enjoyability overall as a film through rewatching it. I've probably seen this movie 4 or 5 times now, and it's enjoyable every single time. I catch something in it on watches now that I didn't catch the first time, and it doesn't make it any less enjoyable. It's not boring. Rewatching it, I would give it a solid 9.5 out of 10.
All right. Fade.
9 out of 10 for me. One of the reasons is because it kind of goes back and forth. Is he out? Is he in? Is he out? Is he in? You know? So, yeah, that's about it.
Richard, how would you do it?
I would say, like if Godfather and stuff, that's like a 10. I would say this is like an 8.5. You know? All right. Because it does a lot right, man.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just the story is like you said, there are some kind of like things that are a little bit corny, and you know what I mean. But it's such a bigger payoff than the rest of it. You know.
So objectively speaking, without bias, this movie is about an 8. There is a great story here. There is small continuity errors. There is some writing issues with dialogue and whatnot. However, this movie does a great job with execution. Small little digital problems here and there with the knife, but for the most part, this movie is pretty solid. Subjectively speaking, this movie is a 10. I absolutely love John Wick. I think all of us can agree that this movie is definitely about or a 10 subjectively.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This movie is perfectly paced. It keeps it going. It's enjoyable to watch. So yes, definitely a 10 out of 10 moviegoer as well. So we have that going, folks. And before we go, I want to show you guys what we got upcoming next week, which is, let's see here, I made it the overlay instead of sharing the screen. So yeah, we got John Wick Chapter 2 coming, and with the same theme of a quote from the film, "Whoever comes, whoever it is, I'll kill them. I'll kill them all." It's great line from the second one. So make sure you all stay tuned for that one Sunday night. Mm-hmm. The rest or the Hack Crew will be coming back for that. And as for me, stay tuned Tuesday afternoon, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. I will be discussing Tuesday theme streams where it is aliens versus military, and this one is Battle Los Angeles. If anybody does want to join, let me know. It's 1:30 p.m. So, yeah,
What's the date on that one again?
This Tuesday.
This Tuesday. Okay.
Yep. And just little freaking fruit flies flying around. We don't even have fruit in this house. But anyway.
Do you have wax fruit?
No. Spud's over there, but that's about it. But anyway, that is going to be the video. Everybody, or make sure that you sub to Fade Salvation and Richard Embry.
Thank you.
And Kate, if you want, because, well, Kate's Kate, and she's awesome. She's a nerd with a cigar. So,
cool.
Yeah, let up Stogie for her, folks. Anyway, thank you so much to Cayman Rider, Happy Dino, Forest Publishing.
That's me.
Yep, that's you. And Face
I like to interact with people.
Yeah. Right Detective Pierce, Vanya. Who else? Christian Freights. Nerd with the Cigar. Obviously, she's also in the chat too. There was another one.
I like to pop in for the algorithm.
Yep. Feline something. Wherever she
Flying Feline. She does
yeah.
Trivia Tuesdays.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Definitely a fun show. You guys should definitely check that out.
Definitely will if I get a chance. Also, to make sure that Tuesday nights, I do the Barroom Podcast on Society Reviews channel. We are going to be talking Taylor Swift and other crappy shit, the controversy stuff going on. Yeah. And so that's going to be on Society Reviews channel at 9 p.m. I will also be modding Odin's chat if he goes live on Tuesday. He has a baby girl, so now his priorities are obviously more important than streaming. But if he is, that will be 7 p.m. on OMB Reviews channel. But anyway, folks, thank you so much to Fade Salvation and Richard Embry for becoming part of the Hack Crew for the John Wick movies. John Wick 2 next week. And Kate, thank you also for coming in. Always remember, folks, if you're catching this on the replay, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What did you think of John Wick? Did you like it? Did you not? What were your favorite parts? All that stuff, folks. Anyway, this is the Hack Crew. We're signing off. And always remember, stay humble.